spirits, demon spirits, will declare themselves to be inhabitants of far distant planets in the galaxies that are coming to warn the inhabitants of planet Earth of the impending destruction of the planet unless something seriously proper is done.
And we're going to do the propaganda till 2025, so that's the date they've been aiming for spiritualism to have a major revelation. It's not actually aliens. Be still and know that He is God. Rest in His righteousness alone. Spiritualism comes through the occult in many ways, like a UN globalist occultist like Alice A. Bailey, who nearly 100 years ago stated, "It will be possible for the hierarchy to externalize itself." There is a ruling hierarchy in this world, the prince of this world. I mean, this is my Father's world. God is the real ruler of this world. Satan's princedom is usurped, but the Bible calls him the prince of this world, and his evil agencies and his evil angels are called by their acolytes the hierarchy, the masters. And they say, this is Alice A. Bailey, who founded Lucifer's Trust publishing house, okay? So this is not, this is a major voice of Luciferian, literally channeling. She says, "It will be possible for the hierarchy to externalize itself and function openly upon the physical plane. The masters will walk openly among men." When will this externalization of the hierarchy, the revelation of demonic powers that rule from behind the scenes, Fauci and Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab and the Pope, these are human beings. They're demonic entities that actuate ruling powers of this earth, and those are what the occultists call the masters that will walk openly among men. When? In 2025, the date will in all probability be set for the first stage of the externalization of the hierarchy in externalized form upon the physical plane. But this was their goal. They said, we're moving toward it, and she states again and again that our teaching and our progress needs to be happening till 2025, and we're going to do the propaganda till 2025. So that's the date they've been aiming for spiritualism to have a major revelation. And what kind of revelation could that be? Well, if you ask Roger Morneau, and I've got a whole video on this on our YouTube channel, watch the video about aliens. Roger Morneau was an initiate in a satanic secret society. The high priest of that society told him that the grand master plan of the master, Satan, is that one of the ways that the whole world will eat this up, he says, and I've got the clip of Morneau on the YouTube channel, just go find that video. He says that they will declare that the demons will appear visibly, just like Mrs. Bailey just said, and they will declare themselves to be inhabitants of far distant worlds. So it's not actually aliens. Now, not going to talk more about that right now, but if we start seeing this deep interest in UFOs and conversation about other entities continue to increase, know that it is a demonic deception, just as has been signaled by Morneau's high priest. He got out of that, by the way, became a Christian. That's why we have the intel we have. But I want to just pause because this has been a few minutes of intense fire hose crisis information. I get it. We got to just go take a deep breath. Be still and know that He is God. Rest in His righteousness alone. Lift up our heads, for our redemption draweth nigh.
Just before the close of the great controversy between the forces of good and evil. So we continued, after we expressed ourselves that we're deeply interested to know more about the activities of spirits. And he said it's going to be done in a unique manner. This grand plan is going to take people are going to eat the stuff. Because he says spirits, demon spirits, will declare themselves to be inhabitants of far distant planets in the galaxies that are coming to warn the inhabitants of planet Earth of the impending destruction of the planet unless something seriously proper is done to avoid it.
Before his dramatic conversion to Christianity, Roger Morneau, French-Canadian, had been an initiate into a satanic secret society. Before he died, he did multi-hour interviews. They're posted in the description below. Every minute of that is worth your time, riveting content, definitely not boring, and it reveals what's coming in the deceptions of the last days. Actually, a lot of it echoes exactly what you read in the epic 19th century book, The Great Controversy, which if you study that book with Bible in hand, you're going to be prepared for the deceptions that are coming upon the earth. Well, what does Morneau say about aliens? One of the forgotten parts of those interviews was that he said that Satan is planning, this is what the high priest told him. The high priest of the Satanic Secret Society told him that Satan is preparing to have his demons impersonate beings from other worlds and say calamities and destructions are coming upon the earth if we don't do the deceptions that they are telling us to do. Now, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. So you got two groups here. You got the sons of God who have come to God in heaven, and Satan who has come to God in heaven. God then asks Satan, well, where do you think you have come from? And he says, well, I've come from the earth, pacing back and forth in it. In other words, that's my domain. He's not a son of God, though. Satan means adversary. So these sons of God, perhaps they came from planets where they have a rightful domain like Adam was to have when God created this world. Adam was called in the book of Luke the Son of God. These are sons of God, not in the sense of Jesus Christ, the second person of the Godhead, but you do have this picture of beings coming to heaven in a council with God from different worlds. This notion of unfallen worlds is not a novel idea in Christianity. It's a biblical concept. It's in Rock of Ages, the great hymn, that in the future we will soar to worlds unknown. The book of Hebrews says that Jesus Christ is the one through whom God made the worlds. So is the Bible here speaking of gray aliens, green aliens visiting the earth and flying saucers? There's no such thing in the Bible. We're going to look at that more in just a minute. But if you see who is promoting the idea of the unexplained aerial phenomenon, and if it's politicians and it's the Vatican, you know it's a deception. Now, I'm not going to rule out secret deep state technologies and high-tech futuristic breakaway civilization level type of stuff coming from human-based technologies in NASA and so on, but there's no such thing biblically as flying saucers coming across the galaxy and aliens landing on the earth in tin cans. So the sons of God in Job were representative heads from other worlds, just like Adam was to be of this world. But does that mean every time the phrase sons of God is used in the Bible that it refers to beings from unfallen worlds? No. In Galatians 4, verse 5, we read human beings redeemed referred to as sons of God. So in Genesis 6, when we see the sons of God intermarrying with the daughters of men, and there's no indication in that text that these are visitations from other worlds, a pretty nonsensical notion to begin with. Angels and other beings of heaven don't have that biological reproductive capacity anywhere in the Bible. We know this is simply faithful human beings intermarrying with the heathen. This is Genesis 6 after the lineage of Seth and the lineage of Cain, the faithful and the unfaithful. Very clear that this is not intermarrying of human beings with aliens. And I'm sure you've noticed the hype, the increasing talk about aliens amongst official sources. 2021 BBC headline read, Pentagon won't rule out aliens in long-awaited UFO report. And recently a Pentagon official talking about the unexplained aerial phenomenon, they asked him, have you thought about extraterrestrials? And he goes, I haven't ruled anything out. And of course, to not leave the Pope out, he was declaring a few years ago that if we had visitations from aliens, little green creatures, we would baptize them. So it brings the question, is it possible that a major alien deception, a fake alien revealing, is coming as part of the last days' satanic deceptions?